Hey, how is
Hi.
everybody? Jumbo, guys.
Welcome in, everybody. Welcome to those that are watching on the replay as well.
Glad to see everybody tonight. We are having just a little disclaimer at the outset. We're having a major thunderstorm here, so I hope the power holds out.
Yeah, we just rolled in from dinner and the sky's really green and there's like a dust storm going on. So
Yeah, kind of strange weather we're having in Texas tonight. But anyway, we're not going to be in Texas tonight. We're going to be in Animal Kingdom. So, but welcome in, everybody. We appreciate you being here, people in the chat. And if you're watching on the replay, we really appreciate you being here too. Thanks for watching. We're going to be talking about Animal Kingdom tonight and why we love this park. I feel like Animal Kingdom doesn't get enough love, so we're going to discuss some of the great things about this park. And I did want to say before we get started, a thank you to Lynn at the Lynn Project. Lynn, I did get my pin today. I want a pin on one of her live streams. And there it is.
That's cute.
I got Joy. And thanks, Lynn, for sending that to me. And for the other goodies that you sent.
Nice. Is that a sticker?
Project.
Pardon? Is it a pin or is that a sticker?
Yeah, it's a pin.
Neat.
It's a pin. And she sent stickers, and we appreciate it, Lynn. Go give Lynn a follow on YouTube. She's a great YouTuber, and give her a follow. She does a lot of really good reviews, restaurant reviews, resort reviews, that kind of thing. And so, yeah, give her a follow. She's great. She does live chats, that kind of thing. So we really appreciate her. And
that's fun.
Her little thing. Every day is a countdown to Disney. And I love that. I totally love that. I'm going to draw. Yeah.
Every time we have a trip, I've got a little countdown on my work laptop, and I'll print it off, and I've got a little picture of us that I print off too, and I move it. All I do is, it's just printed off on regular paper. Then I'll take that little sticker and move it. It's like from 100 days out all the way to 0. And I'll move the little sticker with the piece of tape on the back across the timeline. And then I'll tape it to the back of my chair while we're gone. That way anybody that drops by sees where we're at.
Yeah, it is neat. I have little countdowns too. I think a lot of people do countdown.
Countdown. A lot of people use apps and stuff. I think Jillian's had an app before.
I have
with
an
pictures.
app.
Yeah.
I still can't delete our countdown yet for our trip we were supposed to have in December. It's still, or September. It's still on there. I can't delete it.
Yeah, I'd leave it up there.
We didn't even cancel our reservations for the hotel we were going to stay at. So I don't know. The way we see it, we'll get closer to September, and if things change, if we have that hotel reservation, we may still go.
Yeah,
so. Absolutely. Well, and a lot can change between now and September. So
I feel like it's easy for Disney to put out all these rules right now, but come even August, they may start opening more things up and changing things a little bit. So
they might. So, and that's what I'm hoping. I'm really hoping that that by September, October, we may see some more good changes towards a little bit more towards normalcy. Hey, just our dream.
Yeah. Welcome
it's
in.
Good to see you guys in chat. Thanks for dropping in. We appreciate it. As Angela or Jeff, it's good to see you guys, and we hope you made it back home okay, or I guess to your second home. And you were driving back from Florida, so hope you guys made it okay.
Yeah. Jumbo, that means hello in Swahili.
Absolutely, Jumbo.
My coworker Ann at work, who is from Kenya, has slowly taught me some things and some different phrases in Swahili.
Cool. Well, and Jeff and I have traveled to Ghana on several occasions, and so I've learned a good bit of Ewe, which is their native language. most people in Ghana speak English. If you're under, say, 30 years old, most everybody speaks English too. But Ewe is the native language. It's EWE is how that's spelled. And good evening is Udo. So Udo. Hey, Jeff. Yeah, going from Florida, Jeff, to back in Pittsburgh. Yeah, not fun. Oh, well, the thing is, you'll be back to Florida. So, right? So, well, anyway, we're going to talk about Animal Kingdom a little bit tonight. And I'm sorry, guys, my nose is like really itching. So, sorry about that.
Allergies are picking up. Last week, I was having some allergy issues. So, it's about that time.
They really are. They're kind of, the weather's kind of changing and different things are blooming. And so we get the watery eyes and itchy everything. So Animal Kingdom. Animal Kingdom, I feel like is a park that is beloved by a lot of people because of the type park it is. If you really appreciate nature and animals, then there's no way that you're not going to fall in love with Animal Kingdom. It opened on Earth Day, April 22nd, 1998. It's 500 acres and it's home to 1,700 animals.
That's amazing.
Disney.
Its acreage combined has made it the largest theme park in America. Now, what it said is it doesn't use all of that land for theme park use, but because of the animals and the preserve that they have there, it makes it technically the largest in America.
Right. Yes, and of course that is one of the things. The Harambe Wildlife Reserve in Animal Kingdom is one of the things that makes it very unique. And we're going to talk about that safari expedition that you can take, which is probably the closest that you will get to an actual African safari without traveling to Africa. So
it's incredible. I mean, sometimes I've had different experiences. Taking they're doing the safari at different times of day. I mean, it can really vary. Whether or not animals are trying to move towards the shade or. It makes a difference what time of day you do it, and so. But it's
morning as early as you can is generally the best time to go because the animals are moving around more. But
I did read that recently they've added track lighting on it so that you can take the safari at night. I think that's relatively new within the past year and a half.
Yeah,
which is kind of cool.
Change.
Because I feel
really is.
You get to see different animals. I mean, there are some animals that prefer the dark over the day. So I feel like that's unusual.
Right. Well, in Animal Kingdom, if I'm not mistaken, used to close at like 6 o'clock at night.
Yeah, it did.
There was no nighttime spectacular. There was no because of the animals. They took a little different approach, and so now there is a nighttime spectacular. Rivers of Light, and you can actually go on the safari at night. So those are some pretty neat changes for guests.
Yeah, I was gonna say they do the light, the nighttime light show on the tree projection show.
Right.
Which is super cool because they do it in 5 minutes till close. So you kind of have an excuse to miss it unless you're on a ride. Because we saw it a couple years ago when we went walking out of the park. We were just walking out of the park and we stopped and watched it, and then we went about our way.
Well, they put all those lights up in the tree also.
Yeah, it's super.
It's so cool. Yeah, it's so cool. Yeah, that particular show is kind of like the Kiss Goodnight. If you don't know that it's going to happen, then a lot of people leave the park without ever knowing that happens. Yeah. And so they have actually 4 different projection shows that they do.
Neat.
On the tree, but that is new, and that so many of these things have really added to Animal Kingdom. One of my favorite things about Animal Kingdom is just the atmosphere of it. The Animal Kingdom to me is a is a slower day. It's a less stressful, less hurried day. It's one where I just kind of walk in and I like to just go, okay, and enjoy the trees and the shade and the beauty of it. Animal Kingdom was designed primarily by Joe Rohde, and we all know what an Imagineering genius he is. He also was one of the main designers for Pandora.
Yep.
Yeah. So Joe Rohde, if you don't follow Joe Rohde's Instagram page, by the way, I think I've mentioned that before, it is so worth your time, especially if you love travel and adventure. His Instagram feed is fabulous. So
we learned from one of the shows on Disney Plus too that he works with some of the nature preserves and wildlife preserves in LA and Hollywood. So he's your real earth guy.
Yeah.
He's out there. He's out there really trying to conserve our animals and stuff like that. So he's not just doing it for Disney, but he's doing it out there in the community as well.
Right. Joe Rohde is an adventure traveler. And one of the members of the SEA is, and I'm trying to think which one, is actually modeled after Joe Rohde. I should have written it down. Pardon?
What channel was that video series on the SCA about?
Oh, the SCA. Let me give Triple P a plug here. If you're interested in the Explorers and Adventures Club, which was a part of Pleasure Island at Disney, it was downtown Disney at the time. But the SEA is and a lot of you are familiar with it, is like it's like an Explorers and Adventurers Club. And there are different characters who are a part of the SEA, and all of them have background. It's really cool. The best information that you can get on it, or some of the best information, are the vlogs that Josh does over at Practically Perfect Park Hopping.
Cool.
So
watch those.
Give him a follow. He has a series, and he covers all the different members of the SEA, and it's really cool. So, and Joe Rohde, one of the members closely resembles Joe Rohde. So yeah. So it's really cool. But yeah, so his fingerprints are all over that park, and of course they traveled to Kenya specifically when they were designing the parks. And so as you're wandering through, Harambe Village and some of those people, I think people kind of rush through Animal Kingdom without really ever seeing Animal Kingdom and appreciating the authenticity and the things that he wanted to make that so closely resemble an African market, and he did it. So
they do this a lot of different places across the Disney parks, but I always think it's super cool to see like the intentional wear and tear on stuff. I know that's something that they really mention a lot, especially with Batuu. Everything in Star Wars that basically that isn't owned by the Empire. You think Empire, you think those really sleek Star Cruisers and ships and stuff, but you look at everything else, and everything else just looks worn and used.
Right.
Especially that market. You've got the different posters up. You've got writing on the walls. It looks like. It feels like they picked you up and dropped you in a market, in another country.
It really does. It really does. And Animal Kingdom has, as far as rides and attractions. What is your favorite ride? You think it? I obviously know what mine is immediately.
I think mine has changed a little bit. Getting a different perspective of the park in 2018 when I was pregnant, I couldn't do certain things, and then there were other things that I drew more attention to. Like had never done the Circle of Life show. I always was like, okay, I was like, there's dancers in the street, whatever, let's move on with our life. But being pregnant, there were things I couldn't do, so I stopped to enjoy it more.
Exactly.
And one of those things was, it was our first time seeing Pandora in 2018. My brother is a huge Avatar fan. I'm not so into it, but when I stepped into that park, I was blown away. And Will knows, because I made him wait in line to ride Flight of Passage after he had already ridden it with you guys.
I'd already waited in line once.
I made him wait in line again.
A long line.
We waited probably an hour, but I would say that even the line queue is so amazing that it went by fast. But I would say that's probably my favorite ride, Flight of Passage. It's just so unique. It's different. It immerses you completely into the world of Pandora. Before that, I probably would have said Expedition Everest, but I go back and forth on those two. But I really think Flight of Passage is Disney's stamp on what they can do with technology and rides nowadays. So
I agree.
I'm going to have to say that's probably my number one.
Yeah, I mean, the whole research facility and all the different plants and stuff that they have. And, you work your way through the line queue. It's just a work of art.
It's so cool.
Moving through the floating mountains, the line wraps underneath those, and seeing all this vegetation and like cave paintings and moving
it's just incredible.
To see that like 7 foot, 8 foot
Na'vi
statue of what's his name, Jake. Jake's the main guy in it, and when he turns into that thing's huge. He's in the lab. To walk past that and see it,
it's amazing.
It's amazing.
I mean, in the tank, he's
in the tank.
The Avatar in the tank is, and it's moving and it looks
like twisting and moving.
Yeah, it legit looks like he's in there.
A real Na'vi is in that tank.
Yeah, it's really that's really amazing. It looks exactly like what was in the movie.
Yeah,
it looks exactly
it's nuts. I can remember watching. Yeah. I can remember watching the first videos. The first time I saw that, and I was like, "How in the world did they pull that off?" And same thing, that first teaser video that they did for the what's the name of the Na'vi that's on the river ride?
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
I can't remember her name.
Shaman?
Yes, the shaman.
Shaman. She has a name, but she goes by the shaman, I think. Yeah.
But whenever they put that teaser video out, and I can remember sending it to you, and I sent it to Jillian. They were testing the robotics, and it was a robotics test.
Oh,
and she says, like, welcome to yes.
I remember that.
Oh yeah,
and when you ride that ride, she literally, her body is just flowing like we move, and it's like you're really there.
And in that video, I can remember seeing it, and it just blew me away because she says her line, and then like a person would do after they say the line, like a line that they're supposed to deliver. She says a line, and then she says something along the lines of, "Did I say that right?"
Oh wow! Yeah.
And just watching that video, I was like, "That's not a person."
Yeah, that animatronic. Yeah.
And it's one thing to ride Pirates, and it looks like Johnny Depp is there, but this ride, they even improved upon that technology.
It brings them to life.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. She I think that she is one of their most complicated animatronics to date, and is still.
I can imagine.
Oh, she's beautiful. She's just she's amazing. That's in the Na'vi River ride.
Yes.
Which, and a lot of people that there's kind of a mixed bag, mixed opinions on that ride. Yeah. I personally love that. I think it's now, I think they might want to add a few more things to it.
That's what I
love it's cool, it's quiet. It's really like you're you're on the river in Pandora. It's really it's
that's the word I was looking for. I think she says, "Welcome to the world of Pandora."
Yeah.
And delivers the greeting and then says, "Did I say that right?"
Yeah. My first thought about that ride getting off was that the boats are smaller, so people don't move through it as fast.
Okay, Jeff.
I didn't want it to be over.
Yeah.
I wanted more out of it. So those were my only two things that I had to say about that.
Yeah. And that's a good thing. Jeff at Desert Dreams said his favorite ride is Kilimanjaro Safari by far. So
I mean, it's hard to go wrong with that too. Whenever you can go to a theme park in Florida, I know Busch Gardens is in Florida. It's been a long time since it's been there. But when you can go to a theme park in Florida and you're riding on this big safari truck, and the safari has to wait for a rhino to get out of the way. That's about as authentic as you could get.
It is.
I think
it is, and
I've had right up next to the vehicle. I've had rhinos super close. I've taken some amazing pictures.
Oh yeah, giraffes.
Yeah, giraffes you usually only see behind a glass at a zoo.
He has one picture that we've been looking through our Animal Kingdom pictures. He has one picture where the rhino was so close to the actual safari vehicle that you can only see a lot of the safari vehicle and you just see the top of the rhino and the horn because it's so close to the vehicle.
Right. Yeah. It's that ride is amazing on a number of levels. It truly is the closest that you'll get to taking an African safari without going to Africa. You ride through the savannah, so it's about a 20-minute ride, and all of the boundaries are there that separate the animals. But Disney has camouflaged all of those boundaries that separate the different enclosures. And it's just amazing. It truly is an African safari. Yeah. And you actually, on an African safari, you're not guaranteed to see animals. Yeah. On this one, you always see animals. Yeah. So it's really amazing. And of course, through all this, through all the coronavirus shutdown and everything, of course, all those animals were still being cared for, and the staff that takes care of all of the animals in the Animal Kingdom we're still working. Gotta keep everything going. So but yeah, that Jeff is definitely it's just incredible. If you have never ridden that, I think you'll be very impressed with it because it's really amazing. I did want to back up just 1 minute on just for a second on the Tree of Life, the park's icon. I love the Tree of Life. Yeah. I love all of the park icons, but the Tree of Life is 145 feet tall. It has 325 carvings of different animals. It is a baobab tree, which is in Africa, and it's constructed on an oil platform as its main support. They were trying to figure out how to construct the tree and what to use as its support. Well, obviously, some genius Imagineer came up with an oil platform, which is just the perfect shape. And I did want to give a plug to my brother-in-law, your uncle, William Jerry Bone, who was a master welder and supervisor on the Tree of Life. So cool. That's pretty cool. He has
some sort of shirt or something from that project. He does.
When his company, of course, did all the welding and everything, and then they moved on to another job, and so they were not actually still working on it, obviously, when it was finished. Yeah. And so Disney sent them some pretty cool merchandise, T-shirts, that kind of thing, for the opening. Same thing with Rock and Roller Coaster. He also worked on Rock and Roller Coaster. Rip It, Ride It, Rocket at Universal. Rock and Roller Coaster.
Okay.
And Rip It Rocket.
He worked on Rock and Roller Coaster.
Both. He did.
Cool.
He did. He worked on Rock and Roller Coaster, and there's a great story that goes along with with Rock and Roller Coaster that's kind of scary, because he had a couple of close calls on Rock and Roller Coaster during the construction. But that was a neat build, because he said that Rock and Roller Coaster was the first time Disney had constructed a coaster that was operated by magnets instead of pull chains. And so
they informational YouTube video on that ride.
There is
on Facebook.
There is a good one, and he talks about that, how every inch of the track because it's magnets instead of pull chains, every inch of the track had to be they ran a computer just inch by inch by inch over the track, and if there was even the slightest change in the curvature or something that shouldn't be there, they heated up the track and because till it was malleable, and adjusted it and then cooled it back down.
Wow.
So it was quite a painstaking process, because that's what makes it so smooth. It's because it's operated. It uses magnets instead of pull chains. So, but anyway, So, but Jerry did, shout out there for the Tree of Life. That's pretty cool. He said when they first started welding, they didn't know what it was. They did. Nobody told them exactly what it was. They had diagrams and what have you, but they had no idea how it was supposed to look when the skin was on, when everything was on there. So that was kind of neat. So they first started, they didn't know what it was. They didn't realize it was the park icon. So
yeah, I was going to say, and underneath it, is the it's tough to be a bug ride. And
yes.
If you don't do it, for what, if you're scared of bugs or whatever, it's at least worth going through the line queue to get a closer look at the Tree of Life.
That's very true. That's very true.
It's incredible.
And Will knows I probably won't do it again. I don't like things poking me or
Jillian was scared of Giant Hopper as well.
I said,
Giant Hopper is pretty. Yeah, he's pretty intimidating.
I've seen things like that before, so I knew something was going to bite me somewhere, and I was prepared for it. So I was kind of in Will's lap with my legs up in the chair. For something to happen.
Yeah. We were leaving the ride, and there are these little kids that were just terrified, and Jillian was right there with them as we're exiting the auditorium.
I sure was.
Sure.
So you were just as traumatized as they were, Jillian.
I was. Yeah, I was.
But the bee sting in the back, and the feels like the bugs are moving out from under your bottom on the chair.
Oh yeah, that's it is. It's really, now I loved it. I totally loved it. I think it's great. I think some smaller kids, might not appreciate it, because Hopper is scary. That's a big. I mean, you're basically shrunk down to the size of a bug. Is the kind of the premise, and then of course all the characters from A Bug's Life come out. But I love it. I think it's a great show.
Yeah.
It's tough to be a bug, and there is a 400-seat auditorium underneath that tree. So, which is kind of, you think, wow, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah,
the impressive structure, and you do get to, and again in the line queue, you circle around. You don't have to go through A Bug's Life line queue. You can. I think a lot of people miss that. You can take the sidewalks that take you, down closer, around really close, so that you can see. But the sculptures of the animals on that tree it's just incredible. It's amazing. It really is. So, just another piece of amazing Disney Imagineering. Don't miss it. So let's see. So we talked about, Expedition Everest. I'm going to have, we're talking about rides. I totally love Expedition Everest, but Joe Rohde, please fix the Yeti.
Yeah, I was thinking, the line queue is awesome. It gets you all geared up. It's got all the, this talking about the Yeti and, real expeditions and, like footprints and stuff they found and, gets you all geared up. And
It's really neat. Yeah.
The theming for that ride is so cool.
It is.
Our buddy Garrett that lives down the street, we watched a YouTube video, sitting in his living room with him. And he talked about that, as you go under that mural with the Yeti on it, that looks really cool as you're kind of working your way up the mountain.
Yep.
And but anyway, yes, that is my request as well. I've
seen it with the Yeti working and with the Yeti not working. I have read and heard various people say that particular animatronic, it's enormous for one thing.
Yeah.
And the apparently it's pretty complicated.
Yeah. I mean, they said that, I've heard, I can't, verify whether or not it's true, but I've heard that, number one, it's a very large animatronic. And I think I'd heard that they talked about having issues with it, with the foundation, like the support beams that you use to hold it up. But
which is understandable given the size of it.
I can remember riding that ride with my buddy Clay. Whenever you still had the Yeti that moved and swung its arm out at the car, and I mean he was riding. The Yeti was on the if you're sitting in the car was on the right side, and I can remember thinking it's about to yank him right out of this ride vehicle today. I just lost my best friend to a Yeti on a Disney World ride. Because I mean,
which, if you think about it, is at least an adventurous way to go.
Yeah, but
well, a Dementor almost snatched me away at Universal. So
there you go. Yeah, those Dementors get pretty close too. I'll have to say.
But yes, please, if there's any way to pull it off, bring the old Yeti. This new one, I mean, it's standing there and it's just kind of got its hand out with some flashing lights.
Yeah.
Awesome. So bring it back.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I feel like one cool thing about this ride, though, is that when we went, I guess it would have been 2015 because we were there after getting engaged. We were almost to the point of getting married. We went and Will was like, let's just ride the single rider line because we didn't have a fast pass for it. Yeah. And the line can get pretty long at some time. So those single rider lines do come in handy. I kind of have some anxiety, so I don't like anyone to think I'm a loner loser on a single rider line. So he was like, let's just ride that. We ended up being in the same car. Yeah. We were just in separate vehicles. He was just 2 behind me. Yeah. But I thought it was so funny because this is Disney for you. We had our pin. I had my pin on that said just engaged, happily ever after, whatever. And I'm sitting in this ride vehicle with this older gentleman who could have been my dad. And this lady came and she was like, congratulations, guys. And I love it. I was like, what is she talking about? And then I was like, wait, no, not him. I was like, that's so weird.
Oh, I don't know. I've never heard that story.
And then it was awkward between the two of us during the whole ride. We were kind of like, but yes, that happened. And I think I told Will that story the other day at our friend's house too.
That is so funny. I don't know that you've ever told that story to me.
They're there to congratulate everyone.
Yeah. There you go. Cast members are on it. They have got you covered. They don't miss a trick, guys.
Yes.
I think part of the reason we did that, and that is a really good tip for anybody that's trying to hit that ride quickly. There is a single rider line for Expedition Everest. So Jillian and I think you had to leave early on the trip.
I did.
And so you didn't have as many days in the park.
Y'all were there for 2 weeks. I only had 1 week off of work, so I had to leave before you guys. So I was trying to hit it big.
Yeah, you wanted a quick taste of Animal Kingdom, and we were able to go meet Pocahontas, your favorite Disney princess, and then we went straight to that single rider line, and it didn't take us long to get on the ride at all.
Yeah.
Because we were hurry too.
At that point, Pandora wasn't there. So Animal Kingdom kind of was a quick thing to do. We skipped the safari, which I think that was just a long line and we didn't have time for it. But that trip we did kind of turn Animal Kingdom into a half-day kind of thing.
Yeah.
It was before Pandora was built too, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was before Pandora. Yeah. It was before the nighttime show too.
It was.
So I think they still closed it probably at like 6 o'clock, if not earlier, that time.
Yeah,
that we
I can remember going to the park, going to Animal Kingdom and closing it down, and then park hopping.
Yes, I think we went back to Magic Kingdom that day.
You know, I can remember. It might have been like 2008, 2009, somewhere in there. I can remember they had like an end of day parade.
And
they did,
and you know,
which was cool.
Yeah, the floats were pretty neat, and they had some characters. I mean, it wasn't anything close to, you know, their big parades that they, you know, the big traditional parades that they do. But it was just kind of this little fun parade, and then it was closed. And you went on your way if you had park hoppers.
Yeah, right.
Which I guess was good for those who did not have park hoppers, because, well, good for the ones who did, because the people without park hoppers left and they were done for the day. But our day continued on for 4 to 6 hours, you know, depending on which park you're in.
Oh yeah, it's closed at, you know, like 6 and p.m. and then at the time, some of the parks, Magic Kingdom, I think Magic Kingdom used to stay up until like midnight. So I don't think they do anymore. But yeah, we have been, you know, trying to catch a monorail at 1 a.m. you know, multiple times. So yeah, but they. It's wonderful, I think, that they have added Rivers of Light, which is the nighttime show, and it's beautiful. The last time I saw it, I'll have to say I much prefer the original with all of the different characters that started. Do you remember that, William? The first time we saw it, there were like native dressed characters that started out in the stands.
Yes.
With you. And then as the boats came out, they boarded those boats and became part of the show, which I thought was really neat.
I have pictures of it because we went in on the row that one guy was standing on. We like passed him as we were going into our seats.
Yeah. So they also have a dessert party that most of the, I think all the parks now have dessert parties that give you prioritized seating for the nighttime shows. But Rivers of Light is definitely worth your time.
Oh, now, I'll have to the guy that walks in the crowd anymore?
Pardon?
I said, do they don't have the people that walk in the crowd anymore?
When last time we were there, they did not.
Okay.
It was kind of a little different.
Cool. Whenever we saw it for the first time. And it was funny because I got a really neat picture of this guy and he's like pointing very mysteriously.
Right. Yeah.
Me pointing everyone else to the bathroom.
Yeah, it was a little bit different.
Directions inside the park.
Yeah. It was just a little bit different the last time we saw it. And I, personally, they had added the projections on the trees over behind the lagoon. They had added those, but I didn't like it quite as well, but it's still very much worth your time. The floats and the shows and the music is incredible. Yeah, and so it is a beautiful, beautiful show. So definitely worth your time. And I don't know about the dessert party, but I'm sure most of Disney dessert parties are far and away worth it. So
I would say it's worth your time if you have kids too, so you're not scrambling to find a seat for everyone to be able to see. That's kind of why we had the dessert party set up for Fantasmic, is because we all have kids who are going to go to Disney this year, and we just thought instead of wasting a fast pass, like Leah could have wasted a fast pass to get in because she doesn't ride rides, but all the others, we ride rides. So I would rather have the ride fast pass instead of wasting it on a show. So I feel like those dessert parties are well worth it with kids for sure.
Oh yeah, I think so too. And especially if you have a kiddo like with hey Jeff, y'all did Harambe at night? Oh boy, I am so jealous. I bet that was that was really neat. I have seen Disney Food Blog maybe review that.
Yeah, I'd like to look at the stream and check that out.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so y'all obviously enjoyed it, and yeah, that would be one that I would love to do too. Would really, I would love to do. I've never done the safari at night, so I'd love to do that. I know that they do it now, but I've never done it, so I'd love to do that.
There's also the Dino Land section of the park too. It's got a lot of kid rides and kind of some, carnival style games. And there's also the dinosaur ride based off of the old dinosaur movie.
There's the dinosaur ride. Dino Land, a lot of people kind of look at Dino Land and they think, okay, that really doesn't belong at Disney because it is. It's kind of, you've got a Triceratops spin, which Adam just rode until your dad was sick to his stomach. He absolutely loved it. But that's kind of the charm of that area of the park to me is the smaller kids love it. At Animal Kingdom, that's kind of their area. Mm-hmm. And they had the boneyard,
as the kids can excavate, fossils and
yes.
There's some other neat things that they can do there.
Yeah. So I think that
there that are dressed like you can meet Chip and Dale, but they're dressed like Triceratops and T-Rex. So there's different characters that you can only get in that section at that park.
I want to say you can meet Launchpad
McQuack there. Yes.
Oh,
yes.
I didn't know
it's the only place you can meet him, and I think you can only meet him from like 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. is the only times you can meet him there.
I want to say that we used to have a dinosaur that came out and you could meet at one point.
Possibly. I don't.
I'd have to do my homework on that, but I'm pretty sure I've seen that in person. It's been it seems like a long time ago now, but I'm fairly certain I saw it in person.
Yeah. Well, that to me is the beauty of that little area. That is the part of Animal Kingdom that is for the smallest kiddos, and they absolutely love it. And it's kind of for me, I like it because it's kind of a throwback thing to kind of carnival-ish rides. So I love that part of the park. I hope they don't change it, or maybe upgrade it or whatever. But there have been, rumors swirling about them doing away with that part of the park, and I hope they don't because I really like it, and I think parents really appreciate it.
Yeah, I was going to say around that area too is the Finding Nemo musical. I've never done that before.
I never have either.
Yeah, I've never done that.
We have attempted to do it. But we never have done it successfully. I think we've tried to get to it on time a couple of times, and we never have made it.
Yeah.
Jeff, have y'all done that one? Have y'all done the Finding Nemo? We have not successfully made it to that attraction.
And then there's the dinosaur ride while we're talking about Dino Land.
Yes. Yeah. Also, some people love that. You either love that ride or you hate it, I think, right?
It's pretty intense. I mean, they get you all.
I think it is.
Yeah. I mean, the whole pre-ride show and the music and the rough ride, it's got the same style of ride vehicle as the Indiana Jones ride at Disneyland.
Yes, it does.
And, it's a bit of a rough ride. I mean, it's meant to simulate you're trying to drive through a jungle to track down this dinosaur, and you come across all these other dinosaurs on the way, and it's dark and it's unnerving. And
it is.
It makes me because we're having to hurry, and it's like we got to snatch this dino and get out of here, otherwise we're going to get hit by a meteor shower.
Right.
And
that destroys the dinosaurs. Yeah.
I've managed to get out of riding that one several times now. So
I like it.
The first trip that we went on with your family, I think we kind of bypassed that section of the park pretty quick. And then the second trip we went on just us, I was absolutely not riding it. And then the third trip I went on, I was pregnant. Yeah. And I asked, because there's some rides that they say pregnant women shouldn't ride. And I was like, tell me what you think about that. Because there were some, I rode Seven Dwarfs Mine Train.
It throws you around.
But Will was like, yeah, you really shouldn't because it's super rough. And I was like, alrighty then. So
yeah, it is. Yeah.
So I'll be pregnant and I'll get out of riding it again.
There are a couple of pictures in existence of me looking absolutely terrified riding that ride.
Is that the one of you and Clay? I think that's
yeah.
Did you intentionally? Because doesn't the dinosaur come out on the right, and you intentionally put him over there beside the dinosaur?
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you set him up
on the right, and then you go underneath the dinosaur on your way out, and those two is just kind of a bam bam thing, and
right.
At that point in the ride, they've got me.
Right. Right. Now, see, I think, okay, so the ride vehicles, those ride vehicles were created specifically for that ride. Because the motion, that there was nothing in existence as Disney does so well. If they want to do something and the technology doesn't exist, they invent it.
Yeah.
So you have the ride vehicles for Dinosaur, for those of you who have not been to Disneyland, are the same as for Indiana Jones and Disneyland. So, but the theming is completely different.
Yeah.
Now, which ride is better? Obviously, Indiana Jones.
No question.
Yeah.
It's better. No question, Indiana Jones is better. Dinosaur, I like Dinosaur. A lot of people just hate Dinosaur. They I know a lot of Disney fans who are very divided on that, but
it still makes me a little nervous, even though I've ridden it multiple
times. Oh, it does me too. Yeah, because it is pretty intense. Now, as far as theming, definitely Indiana Jones. There's no comparison. So, if they wanted to change Dinosaur to Indiana Jones,
good idea.
Yeah. So because
I don't want Disney to get scared, so I will stay off that ride. I mean, I even got scared in the Great American Movie ride when the alien comes out of the ceiling. I was like in Will's lap. I was like,
yeah.
I did not expect that even a little bit, and this is I can remember, we went to Disney World for the first time when I was really young. And then we went, I was 8th grade going into 9th was the next time. Yeah. There was just a big gap of time. But, then we've made a lot of trips in a very short amount of time.
Yes, we have. Because
for it.
Oh, hey.
Yeah.
Hey, Garrett, is that you?
The first time I rode the Great American Movie Ride and we came on Alien, I'm like, what is going on? Like, where am I? Because I couldn't even tell you. I may have watched the movie Alien maybe one time in my life.
Right.
And so I was unfamiliar, and then all of a sudden, I'd seen aliens before, like in commercials and stuff, but I've probably seen Alien all of one time in my life. And so when that Joker comes down from the ceiling, and then there's the one that comes out the sidewall, I was like, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I'd never seen Alien.
No worries, Garrett. It's good to have you here.
Riding that ride, I was like, oh, that's, this movie and this movie, all of them I knew. And then we get to Alien, and they put 3 ride vehicles in that same little stopping point. And, of course, our ride vehicle was literally the one right underneath. Smoke starts coming out, and I am like, what is happening? And then you look up, and it's right there in your face. And
that was pretty intense. Yeah. Oh, R.I.P. Great Movie Ride. I love that ride. I love the Great Movie Ride. I totally love the Great Movie Ride.
I know.
I do.
I'm glad we got to ride it before they changed it.
Yeah.
Although I am too. Ride Mickey's Runaway Railway, Minnie's Runaway Railway, but I wish they could have figured out a way to keep both.
Yeah.
Oh, I know, because the Great Movie Ride. We're huge movie fans. Yeah. We always have been, and the what am I trying to say? The finale
Yeah.
of the Great Movie Ride, where they play all of these fantastic scenes of finales. I really getting away from Animal Kingdom just a little bit, but they play all of these fantastic, finales from all of these classic, and I just cried every time. It was I love that ride. I hate that the Wizard of Oz scene.
Yeah.
It was like oh my gosh, I'm riding through the movie set. It was wonderful.
Boom, Wicked Witch, right there.
Yeah.
There she is.
Yes, and she will get you, my pretty. But yeah, it was R.I.P. Great Movie Ride for people who never experienced the Great Movie Ride. It was a great movie ride. It was fantastic. I totally loved it. But looking forward to seeing Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. So we'll see. Nothing can stop us now.
Yeah. So back to Animal Kingdom. Where all have you eaten in Animal Kingdom, Mom? We've eaten at Tusker House. It's kind of that buffet style character meet and greet. Great characters.
Right. We've also done Satuli Canteen, which is now Satuli Canteen is fantastic. I know that a lot of YouTubers who have friends, people locals who live in the Orlando area and have annual passes. A lot of people just go into Animal Kingdom specifically to eat at Satuli Canteen and then they leave. So yeah. And it is delicious. It really is. They do bowls and you basically, tell them what you want in your bowl, meats and vegetables and what have you, and they mix it up. It's kind of like a Mongolian barbecue kind of thing.
Yeah.
But Satuli Canteen, let's see. A Flame Tree Barbecue. My mouth is watering. Flame Tree. We've done Flame Tree. Let's see. We have never done Yak and Yeti. Yak and Yeti gets good reviews. You've got the other one that we've never done is the signature signature restaurant in Animal Kingdom is called Tiffin's.
Huh.
And we've never done that.
Yeah, I was going to say I've seen it, but I've never done it.
I think the reservations go really fast for Tiffin's because that wasn't even an option when we logged on at 6 a.m. to do all of our dining plans. But we've been to Tusker House and we loved it so much that I just booked that one for our dinner instead. But Tiffin's wasn't even an option. It was all booked up for the day. Right.
Now, Garrett, have you guys done Satuli Canteen in Walt Disney World? It's really, really good. And it's kind of like a stir fry. They have different bowls and it's like Mongolian barbecue in that way. Would you agree, William?
Yeah. Well, it's been so long since I've gone to it that I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, but it's really good. So I definitely Satuli Canteen is a destination apparently. So and it's really good. Yak and Yeti, like I say, gets really good reviews.
Shout out to the street corn that you can get in the Harambe Market. It's really good.
We went through the monkey, like the little monkey habitat, I guess they have there. We went through all of that. When we came out, it puts you right at that market. Yeah. And I think you and Jeff had somewhere else that you were going, but Will and Adam and I and Adam's friend who went with us,
Corbin.
We didn't have any plans next, so we stopped at that marketplace. We were just going to get something to drink and maybe a bag of chips, but once we were in line, we saw them making that street corn. And I think everyone kind of changed their minds on, we were literally just going to get a pickle, some chips, something like that.
Right.
It's a really good snack spot. If you have a Disney dining plan, you get those two snacks. And so we got...
We're in Animal Kingdom, Garrett. We're in Animal Kingdom.
Yes.
And Satuli Canteen is in Pandora. So
we each got some street corn, and it was super good. And watching them make it, it's fresh. They put it right on the grill when you order it, so it's fresh.
Speaking of Animal Kingdom snacks, what was the name of it? We got it's like bubble tea, but not tea.
I think it's in the cantina, but you don't have to go window in the cantina. Yeah. You can stop at the window.
Yes, there is a window. Yeah.
You can get it alcoholic or non-alcoholic. I got the actual souvenir cup that blinks, like it lights up. Will just got the one in the throwaway cup because he didn't know if he would like it. But it was super good. It was like it's like an orange neon green slushy, and then it's got the little bubble tea kind of things on the top.
What is that called? Let's see. Oh, what is that drink called? There's a name for it.
Yeah, it was so good.
I can't remember. There's a name for that drink. Yeah.
The blossom, the night blossom.
Yes, that's it.
Blossom.
And the little bubbles that they put on top break in your mouth and they taste like orange. Mm-hmm. So it was a really good, refreshing drink to have. And we have the souvenir cup. So
you recommend the night blossom. I've heard that it's really good. I haven't had that one.
It's super good. The little bubbles are like, it's almost like honey or something, some sort of liquid that's in it.
Yeah.
It looks kind of like this.
There you go. Yeah. There you go.
That's the souvenir drink that we got. It's super cool. It has kind of the Flight of Passage ride logo around the cup. Yeah. So that's kind of what the cup's designed to look like.
And then there's like a little plant looking thing that lights up.
Yeah. It's so cool.
Pretty cool.
I've still got that thing somewhere. I'm pretty sure.
We have the light, not with the cup, but we have it. But yeah, it was a super cool drink, and we saw everyone drinking them, and we got off the Flight of Passage ride, and it kind of drops you off right there where it is.
Yeah.
And again, you have snack credits, so I told Will, let's just get a drink. I mean, everyone else seems to be enjoying them. So
yes, Garrett, it's called the Night Blossom. It's the specialty drink in Pandora, and now you can get it without the little light up thing that goes inside, and you can also get it without the souvenir cup, which saves you some money. But it is pretty cool in the souvenir cup with the little light up thing in the deal. It's called a Night Blossom.
I would like to say this.
There's some popping pearls on it. Yeah.
That there was a Disney food blog article that I saw recently that said, like, I think it was like 10 souvenirs we regret spending money on. And it talked about souvenir cups. But I love our souvenir cups.
Yeah. I feel like, to me, that's not a waste of money because that's something you have at home to drink out of. Yeah. Like when we went to
is, right?
Yeah. When we went to Cars Land, we have the 2 oil cans.
Oh, I love those oil cans. You know, that's the one thing that when Dad and I went to Disneyland, I meant to look forward to see if they still had the oil can souvenir cups at Cars Land. And I totally forgot it.
Yeah.
I feel like that's something, like, as Wyatt gets older, he'll enjoy to use. Yeah. But he also likes cars too. He calls Lightning McQueen go. Yeah. His cars go. So go. And I feel like, what if one day we want to throw a Cars birthday party? Yeah. We have those souvenirs.
Yeah, those Donico.
You can. You can't give it to Party City, you know. Yeah. So I feel like that's not that, and popcorn buckets. I wish we had more popcorn buckets. I do too. Because I think those.
I love the popcorn. Love the popcorn buckets. I need to. Hey, Jeff. If you guys get back down to Walt Disney World, I might get you guys to pick us up one of those Millennium Falcon popcorn buckets.
Yeah.
And I'll just PayPal you or something. I don't know when you guys are planning to go back, but anyway, that would be. I would love to have that Millennium Falcon popcorn bucket.
We've got the little Banshee cup, and then I've got from the Be Our Guest restaurant. I've got my official. Or it's the King Will.
Oh yeah.
That's that you.
I remember that.
Be Our Guest restaurant that has it like lights up.
Right.
It's gold, like the bottom part of the goblet's gold.
When he got it, I was like, "Oh geez, here we go." Will takes it very seriously. He was like, "From now on, you may call me King Will," and I was like,
Yeah. Well, I think. Yeah, we're running over time here, but I think it's worth the time to tell just give a little background on why you're King Will.
Yeah. So in college, so in college, I took a project management class. I was a management information systems major at Harding University, and I took this project management class, and these guys that I was grouped up with and sat next to, I met in that class. I'd seen them around the business building, but it's like a group of 4 guys, all great guys. They're all doing really well in their careers too, and so really proud of them. But anyway, on the exams, they're all but one of the project management exams. For whatever reason, I obviously try hard in all my classes. But
Garrett, love it. I'm sorry, Garrett said something really funny. Go ahead.
But in this class, just all the information stuck, and there, I think only one exam out of the entire class did I not get the highest grade on, and so. Every time we get our test back, me and the guys around me, we all did really well on the test. It was a competition to see who got the best grade. And because I kept getting the best grade on these exams, they started calling me King Will, or they called me King. And so one of my buddies, Levi, I still talk to, not as often as I'd like to. I'd like to talk to him more often than I need to, but he'd refer to me as King Will. And he still calls me King. So that's the origins of the King Will story. I think they even called Jillian Queen when they saw her on campus a couple of times.
Oh, how cute!
Anyway, that's the origin of the King Will.
The King Will story.
Yeah, nickname.
Will's pretty humble, but when he does things like that, like when he graduated with his master's, he went around the house telling me I had to call him Master Will. So when it comes to Disney, he gets a little extraordinary.
Well,
when they brought that up out, I knew that was coming.
That's exactly. Yep. I mean, you gotta take it where you can get it, right? I mean,
his backpack.
And he did graduate magna cum laude, so you know,
super cum laude.
As they say,
I graduated, thank the Lordy. So that's Will and I over here. Our personalities are kind of off.
Hey, whatever it takes.
They're out.
Okay, so Jeff, are you taking orders, man, on the you're taking orders on the school bread? So Garrett, you love that school bread. I've heard it's good. I am a sweet person, or I love sweets, and so I'm a sweet person too, but I also love sweets, and I've heard the school bread is not real sweet, so it might not be sweet enough for me, but I know you guys like that.
That's awesome. This is our dream. The Masters in Project Management. That's really cool.
Yeah, it is.
Okay,
I will contact y'all about that Millennium Falcon popcorn bucket. I really want that. So if they still have it, I would, like I said, I would love it. I'll reimburse you guys if you can pick that up for me. I'd love that. But, let's see. We are over.
I was going to say one ride that I've not done at Animal Kingdom is the Kali River Rapids, because I don't like.
I don't like to get wet either.
And I've heard that you varies how much you might get wet, but I know that if I ride that ride, it's going to be me.
Well, at Disneyland, people were walking off the similar ride to it, and they were drenched, and it was cold in December in California. So I was like, y'all are crazy, but I don't like getting wet in a theme park.
Yeah, if I've heard people say, okay, well, you need to wait to the end of the day to do it, or you need to do it, like at the beginning of the day, so you have time to, to draw off. So, I know people who take dry shoes. They'll take a change of, shoes just in case, because it can be pretty miserable to slop around the park in soft clothes and shoes the rest of the day. Yeah.
Nobody wants to chafe. Let's be honest. Nobody wants to.
No.
And as much as you walk at the parks, I mean, that can turn your trip upside down in a hurry.
It can, and so you got to be prepared, man. If you're going to do the water rides, it is best actually, to be prepared, because I have had my shoes just get sopping. I mean, like squish, 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 sopping wet. So yeah, it's not fun the rest of the day.
Yeah. This says if you're going to ride it, make sure it's the last ride of the day.
So you can go sloshing out of the park back to your resort. Really. Oh gosh. Yeah. Excellent advice. Excellent advice. Yeah. Kali River Rapids. Yeah. It's the water ride that's in Animal Kingdom. And it varies, it just depends which way that ride vehicle turns, as to whether I've seen people get out of the car with, a couple of drops on their shoulder. And then I've seen other people come out of that ride vehicle and they're just sopping, just totally drenched down to their underwear. So yeah, it's a hit or miss. It's a roll of the dice, definitely, Garrett. But it's a fun ride. I think I've ridden it once, maybe.
I've never done it, so.
Yeah. But
another thing worth mentioning, and I know we're running over our hour mark here, but another thing worth mentioning, there are some really cool characters you can meet at Animal Kingdom.
Yes. And the really neat thing about it is that they're generally all in their safari gear, their safari costumes. Yeah.
And most of the people you meet and characters that you meet at Animal Kingdom are just in Animal Kingdom. So
it's true.
You can find them.
That's
like Mickey Mouse, you can find anywhere. Yeah. He's just in different clothing. But I thought this was interesting. Kevin, who is the bird from Up, he just walks around.
Kevin. Kevin's so bad.
Kevin is actually a girl. Mm-hmm. Fun fact there. But she just walks around in the park. And so it's on their website. You can kind of see if she'll be in certain places at certain times. But for the most part, she's just kind of walking around Animal Kingdom.
Right. I would love to meet Kevin.
Yeah. Along the lines of talking about the movie Up, me and Adam met Doug and Russell. So the dog and the little boy from Up. And that was a really fun meet and greet because they off to the side, I don't know, if it's still this way, but off to the side on top of this little box, there was a squirrel. And so I kept telling Adam, I was like, I've got to mention the squirrel. Yeah. And I was like, squirrel. And he whipped over towards it and he walked over and he squeaked it. I had like a little squeak, like a pet toy. And he squeaked it, and then he laughed.
Oh, that's cute. That was a setup.
They were a really neat meet and greet.
They were. They were a really.
But yeah, we met some really cool characters there. Tarzan, that one Tarzan that we met, was awesome.
He was legitimately Tarzan. Yeah. The cast member that was with him was accompanying him. I said, golly, this guy is amazing. And she said, yep, he is, isn't he? He was such a neat meet and greet. You want to tell a story about what he said to you and Adam? It was one of our best meet and greets.
So yeah, I walked up to Tarzan and talked to him, and he asked who I was with, and I told him, this is my little brother, and he looked at me funny, and he says, I don't think you know what little means.
He said, Jane, teach you difference between big and little.
Yeah.
Because Adam is younger than you are, but he's also like, what, 4 inches taller?
Yeah, he's like 6'2", 6'3".
Yeah. So, Tarzan was great. The other meet and greet that I really enjoyed was we met Jiminy Cricket, and we also met Pocahontas.
Yeah, we met Rafiki, Rafiki's Planet Watch.
We did. We met Rafiki. Rafiki's Planet Watch is pretty cool.
Yeah,
that's another neat attraction that we really haven't mentioned. Yes, they do. They do a great job with all of the characters. I hope that all of this COVID-19, the restrictions and things that they put into place don't last very long. because the character meet and greets are so special.
Yes, they are. I was going to say in that late 2000s trip, one of those trips that we took, around, 2008, 2009, 2010, somewhere in there. That's whenever y'all saw that Pocahontas that was really, stunning.
Oh yeah, she was gorgeous. She was gorgeous.
One really cool character that we've met. I wouldn't even call her a character because it was more of like an experience. Yeah. In 2016, we wandered into the park and she was right there in the entryway. Her name is Divine. And she blends in with the surrounding because she literally is a giant tree-looking character.
Yeah.
It kind of
you have to really be watching for her. Yeah. Seeing Divine is kind of a special deal. It really is.
She's on stilts, and Will and I just didn't. We were like, "What is this?"
It just kind of took us back because we were just on our way, and there she was.
We kind of had to look it up, like what she was, and she moves so gracefully, even on stilts. She moves really cool. Like she's a tree in the wind.
Yeah,
she is a little like Groot. That's kind of a good analogy, Garrett. Divine is a character in Animal Kingdom, and she most of the time she's very difficult to spot because she does blend in with Groot's girlfriend. There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Absolutely. That's I hadn't thought of that, but that's pretty good. Yeah. But you have to really look for her because she most of the time she intentionally tries to blend in with the background so that guests have to search for her. And I've never seen her. I would love to see her.
I would recommend.
Yeah, I took a little bit of video of her.
Yeah.
I've got it on my computer.
I'd recommend looking up some information about her too, because Will and I looked up like a Wikipedia page about her, just why they had her in the park.
Yeah.
And I can't remember everything about her, but I remember it being really interesting why they decided to make her a character and put her in the park.
Yeah.
Right. I need to read up on her because I'm really fascinated with her. Would love to see her. Every time I go into Animal Kingdom, I look, but I have not been lucky enough to see her yet. So, yeah. But now Kevin's probably going to be a little easier to find. So
yes, a big blue bird.
Right. So Divine and Kevin are two that I would really love to.
I was going to say out front, it's been years ago now, but I met Chip and Dale out in front of Animal Kingdom.
Yes, love Chip and Dale.
There's a little area before you even go through the turnstiles that they had characters.
And they normally have somebody. They normally have characters standing out there.
I've seen some pretty rare characters. I want to say maybe Brer Bear was there once.
Yeah.
And then also in the park, there's King Louie and Baloo.
Flick. Flick. I've met Flick, but Flick is a lot of fun. Yeah, I love meeting Flick. And I believe you're right. I believe I actually met Flick, and I stopped to meet Flick because I was so excited to see him. And Dad kept going.
Yeah.
And he was like waiting around on me, after he had already passed through the turnstiles because he didn't know what happened. And he said, "Where did you go?" And I said, "Well, Flick was right out."
Priority.
What? I said, "Well, yeah, I had to stop and meet Flick." So he said, "Okay, come on." He knows we love our character meet and greet. So, in Disney, anything goes. So definitely. We love Animal Kingdom, obviously, guys. The ambiance, the animals, the attractions, the atmosphere in that park is totally different than the other parks. It's very special. Yeah, it's a very special park. And I would encourage anybody who's going to Animal Kingdom, especially for the first time, slow down and really, really see what's there. Don't just go through it and just ride the rides and really slow down, enjoy it. It's a special park. Imagineers worked really, really hard on that park, and it is special.
Yeah,
it is, and it is a good park to slow down a little bit, and because I always regard my Animal Kingdom day as more of a rest day. Well, maybe not a rest day, but slower paced.
Yeah,
slower paced definitely slower paced than the other ones. So, Yeah, so enjoy it.
We want to start with a little bit of Disney news here at the end.
Yes, just a Walt Disney WDW News today tweeted a couple things that I wanted to announce. At this point, with the new reservation system that they put into place, a lot of people have been asking us, and I may do a quick video on this in the next couple of days. A lot of people have been asking us, would you keep your reservation or would you cancel your reservation? Would you even make a reservation? Would you go, before next year? And this was something that might help you to make your decision on that. If you have a resort reservation on property, that does not even guarantee you admission into the park. So,
that was a tough one for us. We said earlier we still haven't canceled our trip yet, but that one was hard to chew on for us because we were like, I can't imagine going down there and not getting in.
Right. Especially if you're staying at a resort. Yeah. Resort
people should be the ones getting in. You're spending your money at a Disney resort. I feel like we should have priority over somebody staying at the Motel 6, know?
Right. Well, and a lot of things, that's something that each person would just have to look at on their own. I would say if this is your first trip, certainly I would wait.
Yeah.
If this is your first trip ever to Walt Disney World, I would totally wait until all this is passed and everything's back open and you get the full Disney experience with all the magic. Don't compromise.
Why pay
if you're
for 20% of the magic?
Yeah. Right. Exactly. If you're obviously an annual pass holder and you go in, all the time, then you could probably go in and kind of know what to expect and still enjoy it. But if this is like, maybe a second or third trip even, or one that you plan every, you don't get to go very often, maybe every 5 years or whatever, I personally would not go. I would wait on that and get, as I said, the full Disney experience because you're not going to have, you're not guaranteed to get into the park, the new reservation system, and we don't know what that's going to look like. You're going to have to, there will be no park hopping, and you're going to have to pick one day and get into some kind of a lotto, probably an online, computer thing and get a reservation and tell them I want to go to Magic Kingdom today. And you may or may not get to go. You're going to have to wear a face mask, which obviously people are going to have to slow down in August heat and humidity, to even survive that, because that's going to be pretty tough. And you're going to have no fireworks, no parades, no character meet and greets. So
I almost wonder if they're going to do like we've seen at Universal, where they have the characters, but they're up on like podiums, like in a roped off area.
I'm thinking they might do something like that. Now in Shanghai Disney,
I thought that was a pretty neat idea from Universal. Be like, okay, we still want you to see them, and this still keep everybody safe. So.
And Disney what they're trying to do is to avoid a crowd, crowd forming. So that's, I guess, why they did away with, stage shows, fireworks, and parades. However, they did do all of those things at Shanghai Disney. They just marked off spaces on the pavements, stand here, don't stand here, stand here, don't stand here. So, I know they're doing what they can. They feel like to keep people safe. Hopefully it won't last long.
Yeah.
And we'll be able to get back to, the normal Disney magic. But do you think there might be a trade-off with the limited attendance? I think what they're trying to do, Garrett, actually is, I actually think they're trying to discourage people from out of state coming in.
Yeah,
I think we would prefer annual pass holders who live there in Florida, and just keep it, for a few months to keep. I think that's what they're trying to do with that. But again, that the face mask thing in Florida, heat and humidity in August is going to be kind of tough, I think. So
I agree.
I would, if this is a first trip, if this is your kid's first trip, if this is your first trip, I would say wait, guys, wait until you get all the magic of Disney. You want to, for your first trip, you don't want there to be any compromises. You want the full experience, all the magic, and I would wait. But again, those are go to Disney's website, look at the guidelines and things that they have in place to encourage social distancing and keep everybody safe. And that's going to be something that you'll have to decide with your family.
Some other news. Earth will reopen.
The Florida snobs, exactly.
Space Earth will reopen with Epcot on.
He's looking at you, Jeff.
And that refurbishment for Spaceship Earth has been postponed indefinitely. So
it has. Which I know that Spaceship Earth probably needs some kind of a refurb, but I really hope that they postpone that until after the 50th. I hated for Spaceship Earth to be closed during the 50th.
Yeah, that just didn't seem.
That didn't. Yeah, and they were saying like a year or two on that. So that kind of makes me happy that that's been postponed indefinitely. The Spaceship Earth will open with Epcot on the 15th.
The NBA, National Basketball Association, and Disney reportedly agreed on housing players at Disney's Coronado Springs Resort for the resumed season. I saw a really funny tweet from a player who's a pass holder that plays for a team out of state. Because he's somebody had asked the question. They said, will these players and their families be allowed to go to Disney, like to the park?
And if he still wants that school bread, he needs to be nice to you, Jeff. So absolutely. Go ahead, William.
But so there was the question posed, like, are players and their families going to be able to go into the parks while they're being hosted at the resort? And it was like, no, the players aren't going to be allowed to go. And what was really funny to me was one of the players said, I have an annual pass. Does that mean I'm still not allowed in? That really cracked me up because it was a guy, I can't even remember what team he plays for, but it's not in Florida.
Garrett, Disney calories don't count. See, remember that. Disney calories don't count in Disney. So you're in the clear.
But I did think that was a really funny question that player asked. You could probably look it up, NBA player in Disney. But that was a pretty funny tweet. And
that was cute.
So the NBA will resume their season from, I'm guessing, World of Disney or the Worldwide of Sports out there.
Probably so.
Then the Disney Cruise Line cancels sailings aboard the Disney Wonder through September 14th of 2020. Already on their website, Disney Cruise Line extends suspension of new departures from Canada through September 14th, 2020, and all other departures through July 27th, 2020. So a little bit of news there related to the parks and other Disney operations.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just some. But the big one there, the big one I think was the Spaceship Earth will reopen with Epcot on July 15th. So that's exciting.
So much of Epcot's already torn up right now anyway.
It is.
Do you really want to close down a ride at Epcot?
Another one.
Yeah.
Another one, because essentially Future World is Walcott.
Yeah.
So the World Showcase is it, which is fine. I mean, World Showcase is not to be sneezed at, but the whole front of the Future World, entire Future World, is completely under refurb. So And I'm sure that a lot of that construction will have been pushed back because of all the COVID and the work halt on that. But they'll get it. Disney will get it done. Disney will get it done. I am working on a new video. I may do a video. We've had so many people ask us, would you cancel your trip? What are you guys planning on doing? I may do a quick video on that in the next couple of days. But I am working on the Star Wars Galaxy's Edge video. I did Disneyland opening week for Galaxy's Edge and Disneyland. And then I also was blessed to be able to go to Walt Disney World Galaxy's Edge in October of 2019. So I did both parks in 2019. It was fantastic. And I've been working on those videos for a while. There's just so much to it. It's taken me a while, and I just need to crank those out and and get them done. So I am working on those. And let's see. Yes, Garrett. I do too. I hope they get everything open, and a lot can change over the summer. It'll be interesting to see what happens over the summer if they change any of the safety protocols. I would love to see Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party happen.
Yeah.
So, I love it. I absolutely love Mickey's Not So Scary. I'm hoping to go unless a lot of these restrictions are lifted, though they won't have it. So, we're hoping that happens. Again, thanks to Lynn at the Lynn Project. Give her a shout out here. Thanks for the pin. Lynn, we appreciate it. We love your channel. And you guys give Lynn a follow at the Lynn Project. Also in the chat, Diz Our Dream on YouTube. Great Disney content there. And Monarch Moments. Great Disney content there. You guys do such a good job with your channels. And we appreciate you guys being in the chat tonight. So encouraging to us.
Yeah,
so.
Thanks to everybody watching on the replay, and those that didn't comment but were watching. We appreciate you. Thankful for the, as you say in Swahili, asante sana, which means thank you very much. And also karibu sana means you're very welcome. So asante sana, thank you very much for watching tonight's stream on Animal Kingdom. Hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up here. Thanks for sticking with us on the stream. There was a lot to talk about from Animal Kingdom. So if there's a lot to talk about, you know that there's a lot to do when you get into the park.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks for
didn't
joining.
even get to everything.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us. We go live every Tuesday night, 9 p.m. So be sure to join us, or you can watch that replay. Thanks to everyone in the chat and everyone who joined in, like we said, who was not able to be on the chat. Subscribe and ring that bell so that you'll get notifications whenever we go live. Also, you can leave a comment below what your thoughts are on things that we discussed tonight. If you have any questions for us, you can put those in the comments, or you can email us at thehitchhikingbones@gmail.com. Thanks again, everyone. There's always room for one more, so hurry back.
Thanks for being so much fun and tonight, guys. We appreciate it. Nanu, Jeff. We appreciate it, guys. See you soon.
Thank you so much. Y'all have a good one.
Bye.